Shalom, shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutation to all you Akim pushing this truth and presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. Mashiach of Children of the Light. So I can not pray I can edify you brothers today. So when I was a young brother coming into the truth, my actual blood brother, who was also on the truth, and I consider one of my teachers and fellow Akims, he told me, he was like, he say, man, the Lord not fucking with niggas. You know what I'm saying? He say, man, the Lord is not dealing with Israel, with the people, right? Because, the people wicked. That's why he gave us Yahweh Shah. And when I was first coming into the truth, I admit, I was like, what? It didn't sound right. And that was about a year and a half ago we had that conversation. And so, as I'm continuing reading and growing in this truth, sure enough, call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, you know, a lot of the answers to a lot of my questions are, revealing themselves. And that's great to me because it lets me know that Yahweh Shah is still supping with me. So, we're going to get into this quick lesson today, right? Because the Lord will hide himself, right? And the Lord has hidden himself, right? And that's another reason why we must go through the Son Yahweh Shah, right? So not, for that grace. And it's because the Father is no longer, dealing with us. And, I think just, the title of this is, the Lord does hide himself and the Lord hides his name. So let's get into it. This is Deuteronomy 32:16. All right. They provoked him, they which be in Israel. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations. Provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came up, that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Right? So in Deuteronomy 32:16 and 17, right, is we get into the wickedness of Israel, right? Because the Most High told us not to worship any of the gods because he is a jealous God, right? Right. So we see that the children of Israel were worshiping were worshiping other gods and taking in idolatry. And we know that these things will make the Lord jealous and provoke him to anger. Let's continue. 32:18 of the rock, and the rock is being the Most High Yahweh. How do we know? Because it tells us that in 32:15. But Yeshurun, which is Israel, is just another name, right? Waxed fat, grew fat, and kicked. Thou art waxing fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the Most High, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. The Most High is the rock of our salvation, and it's just saying, once Israel grew, you know, you know, waxing fat and grew fat, right? They started to forsake the Lord, right? Okay, let's get back. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful and hast forgotten the Most High that formed thee. And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them, right? And this means to despise, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And here go the point. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no fate. Right? So just a quick breakdown of all that. I believe I went line upon line, precept upon precept, right? So, the Most High was provoked to jealousy and anger because the children of Israel started worshiping and praising other gods, which we are told not to do, right? They started to forget the rock of their salvation. They started to forget the power that formed them. They were unmindful. They paid no attention to the commandments of the Most High. So they started worshiping other gods, right? And when the Lord saw this, he despised them. And because of this wickedness, the Lord said, I will hide my face from them and see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward, right? And this word forward means perverse, right? Generation, right? So, you can see, right? And that's how Jake is. People will, right? Man, somebody start trying to disrespect you, you ain't gonna want to fuck with them, right? You ain't gonna be around them. You got a friend, you constantly helping out. You constantly being there for them, give them $2, $3, giving them the place to stay, being a great person to them. And then you come to find out that they've been talking bad behind your back, or they bring you around other people and they want to treat you like you ain't been great. What you gonna do? You gonna separate yourself from them, right? I bet. We'll see how good you do without me. And that's what the Most High is saying, right? Now let's go into Isaiah 59. Gonna start at 1. Behold, the Lord's hand, right? So behold, Yahweh's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. And we know that the reach of the Lord is long, right? Okay. And we know that he hears all, sees all. But your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. You understand? So every time that we begin to walk in unrighteousness and we do wickedness and we do things in opposite of the standard of our power, you put space in between that, right? So how can you say that you know God and God knows you when you're not walking in his commandments, right? Because I hear people all the time in the world talk like this, and it always vexes me because they talking ignorantly with the precepts of men and not with the precepts of the Most High. You understand? So the Most High will hide his face from you. He will separate himself from you. Understand? When you doing wickedness, right? When you profaning, right? When you being unrighteous, right? And really, as Isaiah the 59th chapter, it goes into a lot of two-third activity, right? And you're going to read a few of them, but I believe that, I'll break this down, the full chapter, do another full chapter breakdown in another lesson, right? It says, for your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue hath muttered perverseness, right? None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Right? Let's jump down to 59-7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their path. Whole lot of two-third activity going on. Right? So, you say, why the Lord hide his face? Or why the Lord hide his name? Because you was fucking up and you was undeserving. You understand? Come. All right. Gonna move on. Right? And then I love Psalms 44 because Psalms 44 does make a very clear distinction of just how powerful you are when the Lord is working with you and for you, and just how low you are when he's not. But when we gonna get up there, but to continue just on the point, we're gonna jump down to 44 and 23. Right? It says, awake, why sleepest thou, O Yahweh? Arise, cast us not off forever. Wherefore hidest thou face, and forgettest our affliction and our oppression? Right? And this jumps back to, I believe it's Deuteronomy 32. Right? So it says, right? It says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, right? Yeah, so let me see where you get without me. in 44, right? You're gonna be afflicted and you're gonna be oppressed. Understand? And that goes back into the curses. 100% into the curses. Right? Why? And why was Israel cursed? Why is the house of Jacob cursed? Because we kept continue and we kept going off of our power in the ancient world, and even now today we continue to go off in our power. You could talk to 10 different Jakes and they gonna give you 10 different uh deities that they worship, right? Whether they worship the moon, they're gonna worship the zodiacs, they're gonna worship Pan Africanism, they're gonna worship the Greeks, they're gonna worship. You could talk to 10 different Jakes, they're gonna worship Buddha and do all of these things, and that's why Jake was getting their ass kicked in the ancient world so much as today. So don't be talking about, oh, where was the Most High at doing slavery? Oh, where was the Most High at during this time? He was what he told you he was gonna be, seeing where you was gonna be without him, afflicted and oppressed, right? Because Esau did a wonderful trick of, he did a wonderful job of giving you that witchcraft, right? Like, like our power, some, big teddy bear that's in the clouds, giving you infinite, forgiveness and infinite hugs and kisses. No, he's the perfect parent, the perfect father. And just like your earthly father gonna beat your ass, how much more so your heavenly father, right? All right, bet, cool. Actually, and then I do want to jump into this a little bit, right? So, uh, man, one of my I know the brother Karan be like, start at one. So that's why I just paused there for a second, because he'll be start at one and go down. But I'm just gonna start off. Yeah, I'll start at one. All right. So this is Psalms 44 and 1. To the chief musician for the sons of Korah, Mashah, we have heard with our ears, O Yahweh, our fathers have told us what work you did in their days in the times of old, right? We heard all the good things you did for our fathers and everything you did for them in the time of old. 44 and 2. How thou did drive out the heathen with thy hand and plantest them, right? How thou didst afflict the people and cast them out, right? And this is talking about, when Israel was being delivered the chosen land, right? The promised land, the land of Canaan. They had to drive out them other people. They had to drive out them other nations. The Most High had to drive out those other nations from the land of Canaan to give it to Jake, right? And it tells you that in Deuteronomy 7 and 4, that I believe it's 7 and 4, that those other nations were mightier, right? 7 other nations mightier and bigger than Israel at that time. And it was only through the power of the Most High that Israel was able to drive them out, right? 44 and 3. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand. Whose right hand? The right hand of the Most High, right? As I was saying earlier, it wasn't because Israel was so mighty and they were so skilled with the sword that they drove out the other nations. It was by the works of the Most High, right? But by thy right hand and thy arm and the light of thy countenance, because thou hast a favor unto them, because the Most High chose Israel to be his lot and to be his portion. And I'm already knowing in my head, the elder, the elder Yaakite bring up the precept. He goes, you got to show him, got to show him. I believe it's 7 and 4. Forgive me. Gonna be 7 and 1, right? It says, and this is Deuteronomy 71, Deuteronomy 71. So this is Moses speaking to the children of Israel. When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land where thou go to possess it, the land of Canaan, and have cast out many nations before thee. And these are the nations: the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Right? And that's what this is talking about. For they got not the land in possession by their own sword, neither did their own arm save them, but thy right hand and thine arm and the light of their countenance, because thou had a favor unto them. All right, Con. So you see how mighty the people can be, right? When you have the Most High's favor, right? When the Most High is dealing with you, right? When you are upholding his righteousness, his statutes, his laws, and his commandments, right? When you are walking in that path, the path of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, you see how mighty you can be, right? Okay, bet. Now let's see what you're going to be without it. Because we jump down just a few, right? It says, but thou hast cast off and put us to shame, and goest not forth with our armies. Thou make us to turn back from the enemy, and they which hate us spoil for themselves. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for nothing, and does not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are round about us. Right? So there's a clear separation of the thing of, how mighty you are when you got your power, and then how you ain't shit without it. Right? So, you look around at Jake, and Jake is afflicted, and Jake is oppressed still, right? Because the Lord hid his face. He ain't dealing with you, right? Yeah, we get grace through, Yahweh Shah, and that's where our salvation comes. But don't look around at your situation and say, God, man, how Jake be 2/3 niggas talk. Oh, God ain't real. If he was real, why are we in this position? Why are we in this situation? How come things is like this? How come things like that? Because you wicked as hell. It was the same wickedness in the ancient world and the same wickedness now. How you think you just gonna continue to do fucked up shit and not get your ass beat? You think you gonna not do the dishes, not do your homework, be disrespectful, and not get your ass beat by your parent? So how much more with the Most High, right? That you afflicted, and you oppressed, and the scriptures tell you why exactly. Without your power, right? You are shamed, right? And you are spoiled, which means ruined, and you are ruined because look at the conditions that Jake is in, economically, physically, spiritually, mentally. Look at the conditions. You are spoiled. Esau and the other nations have 100% spoiled you, and you are a reproach, right? And you are in derision, right? 44 and 14. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. Again, that goes back to the curses. Deuteronomy 28:37. Yeah, come on. Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, rather the Lord shall lead thee. Because we under the curses because we went off. And part of being under those curses means that the Lord removed himself from us. Because we were not worthy. to have his name and to see all of the wonders that he performed in ancient times. You got to be worthy again. Now, let's move on. Hosea 5 and 15. I will go and return to my place. Today acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. Yeah. You want the Lord to come through for you? Then you need to be deserving of that. Understand? Being a man of the Lord. Understand? Coming into the truth. Walking the path. Right? Being truly deserving of of that love. Right? And again, you know, we get grace through Yahweh Shah. We do. But you should be trying to live like Yahweh Shah lived, right? The Son, walking in that path. And we can't keep all of the laws. It's impossible. But if you walking in this truth and you walking in the image of Yahweh Shah, you're gonna get pretty close, right? To to be deserving. So we know why the Lord hide his face. And the Lord judges the entire nation. He's not just gonna judge one people, he gonna judge the whole people for going off. Understand? Man, I did want to touch on and because then I was reading Psalms 44 earlier as well, and Psalms 44 is good stuff, right? Because and again, it does give you that separation of how mighty you are, when the power is with you, and then it lets you know just how low you can get with without the power. But I think I'll do a whole breakdown of this later as well too. I'll be right now. I'll be trying to stay on topic, and I could feel the spirit leading me into another direction as well with it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap this lesson up in here. Hope I was able to edify some of you brothers out there watching. Because me, still being young myself, I had a lot of questions coming in, and a lot of the things that you hear it's going to rub you the wrong way. But when the Most High is supping with you, He gonna deliver these answers to you and let you know exactly why you in the states that you are in, and exactly how you got there, right? And you can't say you know your power if you don't read His words and learn about Him, right? He is a parent, at the end of the day, the, the most perfect parent, right? He rewards, he punishes, he giveth, he taketh. He'll be there to hold your hand, and sometimes he'll leave you there to fall on your ass. And that's where we are now, right? But again, Hosea 5, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. And it's a precept in Deuteronomy that says that as well. Uh, where is it? It says it says in Deuteronomy that in their captivity they will seek me. Let's, let's see. Seek. I can't remember. I know it says in their captivity. Smite thee. I know it's here. Give me a second. Oh, con, but check, and here go another precept, right? Deuteronomy 28:63. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do good and multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, right? Bring you down, right? And that's what happens when the Lord hid his face, right? Israel got brought down each time and time again, right? Because, the Lord, leave for a minute and, and then, as I said in one of my other videos, he'll come back and, give you a judge that'll lead you righteously. And then when that judge left, you continue to do wickedness and see, and in those times and in those spaces, that's the Lord gone to do what he do. And then he'll come back and correct, right? But that's why the Lord has his face every time you fucking go off, and he'll leave you for a little bit, but he won't. But he won't forget. He won't forget you, right? Because it says that the arm of the Lord is not short, and his ear is not heavy, right? Con. So, but I'm still looking at the. I can't find it, but I'll look for it and maybe I'll post it in the video, but I can't find out. But I just want to say, shalom. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.